Okay, welcome to my presentation of the new school narrative. My name is Katarina Bolle-Coronel and I'm normally residing in the Netherlands apart from this week where I'm in Florida for a conference. I'm not a teacher, I'm a researcher at a university and I do have a teaching load which is so low that I don't consider myself teaching. And the teaching I have to do is in an online school for health professionals who want to learn how to design courses. And the unit in which I am in, which is about organizational change and management, well, the unit is, as a teacher, I have to grade 3 assignments. And that's it. I don't see the students. For that, I have taught face-to-face in bachelor courses and online in bachelor courses and also in other teacher professionalization courses. Let's start now with this narrative, or with my presentation about a new school narrative. And when I started the MOOC, I thought, yeah, why not? It sounds interesting. No idea when I would ever create a school, if I would ever do it, and it gave me a nice idea how it would look. So a lot of things are still fuzzy simply because I don't have to be specific on them right now. But I have decided to make it a hybrid school, and I have decided to make it a teacher community school, so a hybrid teacher community school, and it's a school where teachers share the students. And I got the idea from talking with Patrick. And the idea behind it is that teachers have different interests within the discipline, but they have to also teach things that they don't really like that much within the discipline. So why not share the students and say somebody likes, if you now take history as the discipline, somebody likes the Second World War period very much, and the other one really likes the medieval period. So they'll just switch students whenever they have to teach something they don't really like or they don't like that much. And the reason to have this is that if you're passionate about something, you're engaged in it, and this comes across the way you teach. So if we force all teachers to teach things they don't like, there will be in certain times where the teacher will be low motivated because he has to do it, and other times will be all happy because now he has to teach something which he likes. So why not simply make in a way that students get the whole time teachers who are very motivated because they can all the time teach something which they really, really like. So that's why it's a teacher community and it's teachers sharing their students. But let's go more into it. So what about the mission of the school? Well, first, it is important that learning is driven by curiosity, and therefore the mission of the school is to keep their curiosity alive and give students the tools to collect, analyze, and synthesize the information they gather to make sense of their surrounding. So if you want to learn, you need to engage in learning, and you engage in learning if you really want to understand something. And if you want to understand something, you need to collect the information about it, and from this you can really see that I'm a researcher and that I like to dig into things. But let's now enter the school I envisioned. And what do we find on a pedagogical aspect? Well, first, before I go into that, I want to reinforce again that the education that the hybrid school I envision, it is supplementary education. So we'll never offer the full curriculum, because then I just need to make sure that I have all the teachers, but the teachers join the community because they want to. And it will supplement the education the students will get at the physical school, or it will give students the education they cannot get at the physical school. So we have students with different ability levels who join it because they're really passionate about a certain topic, or because, well, the topic which is taught there is one which their teacher don't really want to teach, but which they can take in the online school. And because it is online, well, it's hybrid because they have some classes face-to-face with their traditional teacher, and then they have classes with the online teacher. So therefore it's hybrid, but it's a global student body. If we now look at the pedagogy of the school, well, here in Maastricht in the Netherlands, we call it problem-based learning, but a better word for it will be inquiry-based learning, or something where you really want to just inquire and find out of it. And so the knowledge the students gain, it comes from their own construction of finding the building blocks, of finding the information they need to understand a problem and putting them together in a way which makes sense of their world. And then I'm not going that far that they're all different truths, and if the student wants to make up that 2 plus 2 is 5, well, of course he then needs to find the right proofs that you could have a different how do you call it in English? A different number system. But the student needs to learn certain facts, and he needs to find the information to come to those facts. And then the problems on which they work need to be authentic, and then ideally they need to be driven by their own, what they see in their own community. So if there's now a student who sees that they have problems with water supply in the summer, he or she wants to figure out why and how this can be solved, and then that's where the courses come in. Now, going to the teachers, as teachers share the students, students need to get the same signal from all the teachers. So the teachers need to have a shared mental model of what learning is, what teaching is, and what grading is. Because at the end of the day, you need to have some product, and you need to have some measure if the product meets the goals the teacher put for that course. And what is also important for this aspect of the new school is that great learning experiences, we do have great learning experience because we had great teachers. If you read through the post of week 1, where we had to reflect on our own school, it all boiled down to, I remember this, and I really liked this, and I enjoyed this because of the teacher. That's why the teachers of this hybrid school need to feel that this is theirs. Because if you own the teaching in a not a possessive way, but in a way that you feel this is my work, I can change it if I want to change it. I have the freedom to adapt my teaching to my needs. But if I do something wrong, I'm not directly kicked out. So you need to have freedom, and you need to have psychological safety. So you need to feel safe to do risk. Then you create ownership within the teachers to own their teaching and to own the subject and to own what they want to do with the students. As the research process, or as the teaching process in this school is based on research, the teacher, next to being a subject matter expert, also needs to be a research coach. So he or she needs to know how research happens and what you need to do for it, what are different research methods. Therefore, the hiring process will be that the teacher needs to do and present his or her own research project. Because through that, you could see if the teacher how much passion the teacher has in his or her own subject, and if he or she is able to actually collect, synthesize, and analyze information. Now, going to the student mix, I didn't spend that much time thinking about it because it's hybrid, so it's wherever you are, you can join. And it is English based. So first thing which came into mind were countries where the native language is English. Of course, people who just want to follow a course in English could just also join. I may have an entry requirements for all students to pass a certain level of English, because in hybrid schools, what happens easier is miscommunication, because you just, if it's just text-based, you just read, and you can't say, if you don't understand it, you have to write an email, and it needs time for the reply to come. So everything needs to be very, very explicit and clear. Everything written needs to be very explicit and clear, and every student needs to understand it also without having to ask, what does this word mean? And this also brings me to a point I have so it will be a global student body and an entry requirement in English, so that to make sure that everybody speaks their right level. is fluent in English. Before I go to the neighborhood, I just want to quickly touch upon the aspect of facility. At my university, we use the learning management system of Blackboard. I don't know who is familiar with it, but it's not teacher friendly and it's not student friendly, and it's the only reason we have it. It's because they more or less have a monopoly on learning management system, and all the universities in the Netherlands have Blackboard. So the learning management system operator within the universities, to talk with each other, say, oh, hey, yeah, we took Blackboard, yeah, okay, let's take Blackboard, because then if there's a problem, you can talk with your colleague, understandable, fair, but I don't like it, and I have not yet found a teacher who likes to work with it. So I think the main problem is to find something which I like and which students would like, which is easy to understand and which is not cumbersome. And I have seen via the blog of Broken Airplane a learning management system made for project-based learning, and it sounds and looks very interesting from what I've seen. And of course, well, then you have the facility cost with regard to the technical platform. The nice thing would be that it is maintained by somebody outside, so that I don't really have to think about it. So that the only thing I, as principal of that school, would have to do is to just more focus on the teachers and the facility design. I don't have to consider a lot. And one thing which needs to be in that school is that every subject, every course or every project begins with face-to-face, so with synchronous meetings. And why? Because you need to create a community. And you can't really create it with text. Even if you use pictures and emoticons and, speak informal, it's just not the same. And we have tried it with just text-based in some summer courses, having like sort of a cafe area within the online school. No, it's not the way to do. It's not the way to go. And you should have, every course needs to begin with a face-to-face meeting, and it needs to have, and it should end with a face-to-face meeting. With face-to-face, I mean simply synchronous communication, and that's a must. And well, it will be really nice if it's once a year everybody comes together at the same spot. Yeah, that would be nice, but not really necessary. So coming to the neighborhood, I mean, it's online school, so the neighborhood of the school is just whatever you have outside the window. And with this, I thank you for paying attention to my narrative, and I hope I wasn't too fuzzy and that you could make sense of some of the thoughts which have been going around in my head while I took this course. Thanks for the effort. Thanks for putting it together. It was fun taking it. Thank you. Bye.